Hi, my name is Kat and I got into Parsons Junior School for design. As I was applying, I would watch portfolio videos all the time, and it really helped me understand what pieces got people into the school, but none of them really showed like the actual application process, like the platforms and stuff. So today I want to show that and hopefully help future applicants with their own applications. And even if you're not applying to art school, I hope you can still draw inspiration from my portfolio and make your own art. Parsons is the only school I applied to. I was going to apply to others if I didn't get into Parsons, which was my #1 choice. I've actually wanted to go there since I was like 9, maybe 10, but it's really a dream come true to be able to sit here and say I got in and show you guys my actual portfolio that got me in. So that's actually so crazy to me. And I'm super grateful that I'm here now showing you this and being able to give advice to future applicants on how the whole thing works. Create a Lightroom account and select the term you want to apply for. Specify your major and write your Parsons Challenge essay. Then you can add every image or video you want to add to your portfolio and add titles, mediums, and small descriptions. Then you pay the fee and submit. First you create a Common App account, and then you put in information about yourself and select your school, major, term, and a bunch of other things. This is where you submit your Why the New School essay too. Then you pay the fee and submit your application. After all that, you can make an Admissions Hub account and check if you need to send anything else, like transcripts or English test results if you're an international applicant like myself. I'm honestly really happy with how my portfolio turned out, especially considering I don't really have a formal art education. However, I do still feel like there's a lot I can work on and I should work on, which I will. I hope to continue doing during my time at Parsons. And yeah, I know they have so many resources to help students grow as artists, and I'm really excited to be able to go there and work on my skills all the time. I'm really looking forward to experimenting with different techniques and mediums I haven't yet worked with, so yeah, I'm really excited. My major is fashion design, however my portfolio includes pieces of different kinds of mediums. About half of it is photography based and the rest is mostly traditional art, so paintings, drawings, all that stuff. There's also a few fashion pieces, like fashion design pieces at the end. I actually placed each photograph in between a traditional medium piece, so it's basically like a painting, then a photo, then a drawing, then a photo, just so it's kind of spaced out evenly. I also try to divide the pieces by themes, so like at first there's self-image themed pieces, then there's personal ones, then one's kind of about my ideals and stuff. Then I added some studies and technical pieces, and the last few are fashion design based. And I'm not sure why, but I put my Parsons Challenge last. Yeah, I don't really know why I did that, but I did. I made this piece for school. We had to choose between 3 topics: others, nature, and the self. And I chose others and kind of worked on feeling watched and vulnerable and judged when living in a small town where everybody talks about everybody and how that affects people's self-image. I actually wanted to make this in oils, but my teacher wouldn't let me, so I ended up choosing oil pastels, which I thought was like the closest thing to oil paints. And I actually really liked the medium. I had worked on it once before this, and I had fun experimenting with application and blending techniques, so yeah. Okay, so this is one of my favorite pieces. I took this early last year for a photo shoot that was female body themed. It was actually for an art show I was invited to, where I exhibited a few photos from this shoot, some paintings that are also in my portfolio, and a garment tying it all together. I asked a girl I know to model for me, and I fully turned my room upside down so the light would hit just right. And it was a really fun shoot. I actually love the composition of this photo, I like how you can see how she's looking kind of back at herself in the mirror, and how the overall feel is super soft and feminine. Also the colors are really pretty. I feel like the visual plots kind of take your eyes from her body to the mirror, which I really think it helped convey the message of, you know, self-image. So yeah, it's one of my favorites. This one is pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to show I could draw from life while continuing to show kind of how I see the world around me. For a while I was really into using tulle as a prop, and for this shoot I wrapped some around my model's hair, covering her face and tied it into a bun. And I was kind of testing out the slow shutter on my camera, on my film camera, and this is one of the shots that came out of it, and I really liked it, so I decided to add it. And I usually come up with a concept first, and then make art like about or on that concept. But this time I did it the other way around, and it ended up working just fine. Because the ears, like her ears are the only clear-ish part of her head, I decided to make it be about wanting to express what you think and not being really heard or being ignored. So that's kind of what I wrote in the description part of the application. Fairy is gouache on paper. I made it coming out of a really bad artist block. I felt frustrated and annoyed, and I kind of felt like the feeling conveyed by the painting Guernica by Picasso. So I looked up more of his work and saw this really cool self-portrait he had made. So I kind of decided to make my own, similar to his style, but with my own like twist on it. And I ended up making this. I love it. Technically it's not the best, like I know that, but I feel like it's really accurate to how I felt at the time and just how I am in general. This is a very spur of the moment photo. I took this, I don't remember when I took this actually, but it's my brother's face reflected on the like ceiling window of my dad's car. And I thought it was really cool how he's sort of merging with the trees in the background. And I don't know, I just find the composition like harmonious and simple, and I love the peaceful, kind of perfect weather day feel there is to it. This one, as the title may suggest, I made in a rush. I made it about a day or two before submitting my application, because I thought that even though I love making collages, I didn't have any in my portfolio. So yeah, I made this basically just to add one. It's about people rushing through the stages of life and wanting like teenagers wanting to be older and old people wanting to seem younger, and kind of about how we should appreciate the time that we have. It can also be read as kind of a comment on consumerism, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so it's meant to be read in kind of an S shape. So you start at the bottom left corner where there's children and cartoons and stuff, and as you move up there's adults, people working, buildings, cars going fast, and then you get to the boomer corner. There's old people doing stuff basically. And also in both the top left and bottom right corners there are clocks and watches to kind of symbolize the passage of time, so it kind of ties the whole thing together. So yeah, that's about it. This is a series of paintings I made that went along with the exhibit photo I showed earlier. They're basically studies of muscles and tissues in our bodies. To make them I looked up muscle structures on medical websites and try to make the paintings as accurate as possible. So with the biggest painting I try to make kind of a multi-layer reading of the body. So I painted the girl's muscles and skin to represent the physical interior and exterior, and the flowers to kind of show her personality. Because I wanted the flowers to show her interior, I guess, I researched the meaning of certain flowers and chose specific ones that symbolized being strong, being graceful, being beautiful and all that. So yeah, I kind of made it poetic in the biggest one and then more technical in the smaller 3. This is honestly just a filler piece. I thought the movement in the model's hair is super interesting, as well as the texture of the wall behind her and the folds in her leather jacket. But that's kind of it though, it's just a pretty photo. So I made and added these garments to show I can do commercial fashion, not just avant-garde pieces, and also to show I have decent sewing skills. I actually just made the top in crepe, which is a particularly difficult to work with fabric, so that way the admissions people could see that I'm not afraid to work with difficult materials. Yeah, I added the sketchbook page to show I understand patterns and can think of a garment's wearability as well. This is my last personal piece before my Parsons challenge, and I know it's a waveless wearable design, but I think it's good to show you can make and come up with different types of garments. Again, I added the sketch to show how I can translate my ideas from paper to fabric. So for those of you who didn't know, the Parsons challenge is basically like a separate piece, a separate part of your portfolio where you create a new piece based on one already in your portfolio, but in a different medium. For mine, I chose to work around the theme in my piece, reflections. I chose to kind of make a story around the whole being observed theme. It's basically this girl who is upper class and leads a supposedly perfect life, but is super unhappy with having to hold up this fake perfect persona. And the dress I made kind of represents the whole story and how she feels vulnerable and exposed, and I wrote about all that in my essay and explained how the dress actually represented everything in that story. I embroidered eyes on the opaque half of the dress and left the organza side of the see-through side empty, and then I added sexy, lacy black underwear underneath, sticking to how the girl felt the need to be, perfect and sexy and all that. Also, I added leg of mutton sleeves, which are puffy on top and then get skinny from the elbow down. They really reminded me of royalty, and considering that's one of the highest social statuses there are, social classes there are, I thought it was fitting. Yeah, also it shows I'm comfortable with making patterns and all that, and can make a wide variety of styles. I mean, with the sleeves being kind of different and all. I also added gloves and put rings on top of the gloves to kind of symbolize a layer between herself and her riches, as if she feels total detachment from that life. As for the hair, makeup, and accessories and all that, I try to stick to the theme and draw inspiration from certain celebrities when they go out on the street and don't want to be seen, like the glasses and the hair cover-up thingy. And I kind of kept the makeup sort of doll-like, so it was kind of perfect and symmetrical, and yeah, that's basically it. To show my work, I took these self-portraits and put them together in a sort of collage-y way. I also attached sketchbook pages and process photos, just to kind of show how my thought process was throughout making the whole thing. So we've reached the end of this probably very long video, and I just want to say thank you if you watched this far, and I hope you found this helpful. Whether you're applying to art school or not, whether you needed help with your application or you were just curious as to what applying to art school is like, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. And if you're from Parsons class of 2024, or from the new school class of 2024, then I guess I'll see you in a few months. I'm excited to get to know everybody. So I'm gonna try to make more videos, but I don't really know. So yeah, if you wanna stick around and see if that happens, then be my guest. And I guess that's it. Bye. Stop saying